Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 600 of FloWrestling Radio Live. 600, guys.
We did it.
Way to go. We did it. They said 550, it's over. No, we 50 more. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined, as always, and on occasion, and today, by two industry leaders, Ben Funky Askren, back from his tournament, and Stephen Kyle Brackey.
Oh, yeah.
Ben, how was, you abandoned us yesterday, and that was sad. The show went on. What's going on? Where were you?
Well, so, you know what? Max decided to push through and drive late into the night, and so I almost decided to come on yesterday morning because we did get home at like 3 a.m. But then I'm like, dude, I feel like crap. I'm gonna be terrible on the radio, so I did not come on. We had a pretty good weekend. We wrestled. So there's 2 days of individual tournaments, 2 days of duels. We took two 15U teams and a 12U team. We had a good time.
Nice.
I heard you got beat by some West Virginia teams.
Woo!
Wait, only one. And we, one of the things that we do, only our club kids, so we were forfeiting a couple weights. So, yes, we did lose. I think we lost 36-34 to West Virginia.
The entire state?
I think it was like a Team West Virginia thing. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, they're all-star teams. Yeah, so, no, it was good. New Way runs really good tournaments. So, man, it was smooth. I could not believe, if we're going to talk about social commentary, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, dude, it was like pre-corona stuff. It was crazy.
What do you mean?
It was packed. Like, there were people everywhere. There were literally, you drive like down this like main strip because there's mountains, and there's like a billion people, and you're like, what is going on right now?
Yeah, Gatlinburg. That's where a young Katie and Christian Piles honeymooned after they were.
Really?
Yeah, we had no money, so
up in the money, up in the mountains or what?
Yeah,
nice.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
It's a cool place.
Is that where Dollywood is?
It's near there.
Okay.
It's not like.
I've been to Dolly World.
I think it's up the road. I think it's in one of the other towns.
Yeah. Sevierville? Mm-hmm. That's where Dolly Parton's from. She was like born in Sevierville, Tennessee. I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. Where does it say? It's temporary.
Pigeon Forge. That's
Pigeon
right.
Forge. Yeah, Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge are right next to each other. And then Sevierville is not far. Beautiful. I know a lot about Tennessee, apparently.
Well, you're from Virginia. That's like a budding Tennessee, I believe.
Yes.
Some way, shape, or form.
A budding Tennessee? What? What was that supposed to mean? Like we look up to Tennessee? No. Tennessee marvels at Virginia.
Okay.
Okay. Well, glad you're back. That was quite a drive.
I got to watch. You know what though? I got to watch a lot of wrestling because we didn't have to wrestle because we didn't bring the younger teams because we don't do those ages. We didn't have wrestling in the morning ever, so I got to watch a bunch of Henry Deglane stuff. I got to watch a bunch of Big Ten duels. I got to watch quite a bit of wrestling, so that was really good also.
Well, I would like your thoughts on the Deglane, particularly a focus of our conversation yesterday was about Soriano and 57, and basically
Soriano looked good, didn't he?
Yeah, he looks
really
like
good.
It looks like him and Spencer and Dayton to me are the three for 57. But I'm curious if you're ready to pare down your list, or if you still think it's a mega group of guys that could make it.
Yeah, Gilman obviously has been I don't want to say a number one guy, but he's been one of the kind of top guys we've been considering. But he really blew the match. Really, he was winning very clearly against, I don't remember the foreigner's name, but Soriano ended up beating him up after that. So I would have liked to see Gilman versus Soriano, but Gilman blew it. Soriano, for a while we said that the group of three was Fix, Lee, and Gilman. Soriano absolutely has to be in that group now. He's really, really good. He could definitely make the team at 57. It wouldn't shock me at all. I think it looks like, and it could be just been a mental thing. It looks like he's like more comfortable in freestyle. It looked for a while last year like he didn't really want to pull the trigger on some things, and now that doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, he lost the one match to Gross when he pulled the trigger and he lost. And I think when you're so good defensively, you can kind of fall into that trap, right? I don't really need to take a lot of risks because no one can score on me. And then, Vito Rujao takes you down and you lose because everyone can be scored on at some point. So, Any other thoughts? Assess I have a
Well,
thought
so
about
here, you know what the thing I was most annoyed about, Christian? This is not a ranking series tournament for points. Why would these dudes just not wrestle in the finals? Because didn't Kyle Dake and Kyle Snyder not get matches in the finals?
Snyder had a finals match. He didn't have his semifinal match because Sharifov forfeited to him.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, and Dake didn't have a finals match.
Correct. But
That was so annoying.
he ended a man's life the round before, and I think he terrified the entire arena, and then no one wanted to wrestle him.
That was freaking awesome. That was so cool.
It was epic.
I don't know how he decided to do that, but it was tremendous. Yanni looked pretty good. James Green looked pretty good. I mean, overall, kind of America looked really solid. Can we please just have you just tell UWW that Flo is going to do the bracketing for and all the information for like the rest of history? Because
What do you mean, like
I don't know who
on
made
Arena?
that. That website was terrible. Like I
Oh.
could not find. It was so hard to find results on that website. It was really frustrating. So like, can you guys just do it forever now?
Well, we'd be happy to. I don't know if it's that simple,
Okay.
and I think the tournaments get to decide. But yeah, hopefully, as we now are our partners with UW, we could get more involved in the bracketing and arena. Makes everyone's lives a lot easier, including us, because
Yeah.
when stuff's not on arena, archiving the matches is a tremendous pain in the neck for
Oh, yeah.
the content team to bear. So yes, hopefully one day. I agree that I thought Yanni looked fantastic, and Team USA in general. I thought the team we sent
Yeah.
was looked really strong. Would have loved to have seen David and Zahid in that 86 bracket, but obviously David fortunately prioritized wrestling Jordan Burroughs Wednesday, which was awesome. We haven't really got to talk about that. I'm sure you talked at length on Thursday about it.
Yeah. Me and Brady, but I haven't talked to you guys. What was your guys' takeaways?
Oh, takeaways. Well, one, I thought I'm curious if you guys dabbled into the criteria wars, which were waged.
Really? We didn't get into it, but there was that one awesome stat I believe I sent you, Christian.
Yeah.
Where Jordan Burroughs has only lost to Americans by criteria. He's never actually lost by points, which I find to be very interesting. He's lost 4 matches to Americans, all of which have been by criteria, none by points.
Yeah. I thought that, if they wrestled again, I think I'm curious what would happen if they wrestled again. Like, did Jordan figure things out in the second period, or was it David was like, I have 4 points, he's not going to take me down, I'm just seeding these? Like, how would the second match go if they wrestled again? That would be a thing I'd be curious. I mean, it's clear that it would be a razor thin margin, right? I just don't think there's any scenario where either guy blows the other out, because Jordan is so tough to take down. David's a takedown artist, and he got the one, and the one he got was weird because Jordan just kind of dropped, slipped kind of thing. So I would love to watch him wrestle again. I thought they both looked good, albeit reserved in the beginning, maybe a little. I won't say too respectful of each other, but they definitely showed each other a lot of respect. But I thought it was awesome. It's a great match.
Yeah, good stuff. So what is the criteria? I mean, why does the criteria thing come up every time? Because it's been just like the same thing for many years. It hasn't really changed at any point. I would not say I love criteria, but I would say I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm okay with it. It's the way it's been. It's probably going to be for many years. It would be really nice if they had a different amount of points, and that's how we picked a winner. But it's not unfair in any way, shape, or form to me. Everyone knows what the rules are.
Yeah, same here. I'm more cool with them. I actually support them. I think they're good, but that's the criteria talk. So okay, couple things. There's stuff going on here. One, Ben, I don't know if you recall, but when we were talking about Peyton Robb.
I do, yeah.
Roll the clip.
Well, they cheated him.
Roll the clip.
They cheated
Roll
him.
it.
No, hold on. This one's going to be relatively close. I think Marinelli's going to win, but I think Rob's going to be able to keep it competitive.
Okay, I think it's going to be a beatdown, personally.
Really?
I think this could
Beat
get
down.
like major territory.
Marin,
Listen, okay, let's make a bet. I think it's
Let's
going to
do
be
it.
within Let's see. I say 2 points or less, and you guys say 3 points or more.
Oh,
Line
all
too-
day,
Yeah.
all day.
Damn it, did I
We'll
make the
put
line
30
too short?
points
All right,
on it, man. That's
30
easy.
push-ups. Okay, deal. Peyton Robb, don't let me down.
He lets you down.
Peyton Robb did not let me down. The officials let me down because that was so clearly a takedown right off the bat. It wasn't even close. It was just a takedown.
I thought it was a takedown
The
too.
first- it was obvious.
But
Yeah.
it's still a 4-point. Even if you give him that, it's 4-point win.
No, because he maybe rides him for a while. You don't know he doesn't ride him, Bracky. He
I
can ride
think I
him for a
know.
while.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
he does
maybe
that.
he throws in a power half and pins him while we're living in fantasy land.
Boom. You never know. No,
I
that
think
first takedown.
I think it could have had a
yes,
reverse
I was-
effect. It could have been a classic.
No,
You took me down, and the bull's like, I have to make an example of you for your audacity.
Well, that's what the bull did, but he didn't have to give up the points because the ref cheated him. Yeah, I was wrong. It was a beatdown, but he did have that first takedown, and the ref. I don't know how in the hell they didn't give him the points. He was like all the way behind him. Marinelli's hands were on the mat. That was weird. That was really weird to me.
I did think that was strange. Did you have any other thoughts on the Iowa-Nebraska duel?
Nebraska did not look good. I will look good. It was kind of just an all-around beatdown. There was I don't know that there was too much positive for Nebraska in the whole duel. They got beat up at 25-33. Chad Red looked okay. Brock Hardy looked okay. Who's their 57? I don't remember.
Licking.
He got beat up.
Caleb Licking.
Yeah, he got licked. Peyton Robb got beat up, unfortunately. Labriola looked pretty good, but it was against their backup, and I thought Kennedy actually looked really good. Also,
Yeah, we
sad he
thought
won't
that
be in
too.
an NCAA championship until 2023. For God's sakes. Let's see. Labriola, Venz and Brands. Venz looked terrible. He looked terrible. Brands kicked his butt. Bad. Really bad.
It was a butt kick.
It wasn't even close. It was so bad.
As Mako would say, I kicked him right in the ass.
Yeah, Steve, that is.
Yeah,
Not Peyton.
yeah, Steve Mako.
Well, Ben, are you in a trance right now?
What?
Oh, you look entranced.
No.
Yeah.
That was an MK Ultra glitch.
I honestly was thinking that's an MK Ultra glitch.
MK Ultra. You guys
Yeah.
know about that? You allowed to talk about that on radio?
Probably
I mean,
not.
we'll probably get shut down here in a second, but
Someone's gonna rush in the HQ and take us out, but we always had the
It's
last.
been admitted.
Yeah, everyone knows
It's
it's
proven,
true.
right?
Yeah, I thought Chad Red, it was interesting. He got the first takedown, but then he basically kept shooting, which I find admirable, but it's also so dangerous when you shoot on Jaden Ironman. But yeah, he took him down exactly how you got to take him down. But I thought Jaden looked fine. I thought actually Max Murin was as impressive as anyone for Iowa. I thought he looked. I thought Hardy. I thought Hardy actually did look pretty.
It was just 3-2 until like the last 30 seconds, 20 seconds, right?
Maybe I'm misremembering.
I think I remember that.
But I thought Murin looked particularly good there against Hardy, who is going to be good, who is good right now as we speak.
I thought Murin looked like Murin, where he is really not all that active and gets the one takedown, and then I believe he got one at the very end. That's how I remember it. At least it's been 4 days now. And Brock Hardy, like, he had a good win over Michael Blockus, but at the same time, we've seen one. We haven't seen a lot of good performances from him. So I think jury's out on Brock Hardy for sure.
I wouldn't worry too much if you're a Nebraska fan.
No.
I mean, they got beat 8-2 against Iowa last year, and then we're second to Big Tens.
Yes.
So would not worry too much.
They're going to be good. Speaking of Iowa, the Hawkeyes will wrestle Minnesota on Friday. The Gophers.
Oh yeah,
Gable versus Big Tone. That's a tough one for Cassioppi there, Bracky.
it is. And Ben, I don't know if you saw this. We have this clip here from the Iowa Wrestling Twitter. Tom Brands with some interesting comments. For a lot of reasons about Cassioppi Gable.
Talk about opportunity. Obviously, Tony Cassioppi going up against #1 ranked heavyweight. What does he have to do to close that gap there? And How good is it for him to get this match early in the season?
It's important. It's the next match on the schedule, and that's why it's the most important match for everybody, really. But nothing to lose. He has nothing to lose. And, you know, I don't know when we're going to step up and compete with this guy. But I would definitely be in the minority of the wrestling community when I say that we can go with this guy. I've said it before. I'll keep saying it. I believe in our guy. But he's going to have to do some things that are, you know, ballsy. And that's just how you're going to turn the tables here. I can tell you, and I really don't want to get into this too much detail, but I can tell you that Gable Steveson is probably one of the most vilified wrestlers out there. But what I will say is if he was on your team, you would love him. And I don't need to defend him. I'm not his coach. He's not in my program. But it's a tall task when you go up against somebody like that. When they're trying to beat you as bad as they can beat you in front of a live television audience, you got to step up. And does that put pressure on Tony Cassioppi? I hope so. I hope so. Are we up for it? Without speaking for him, you know, I believe in our guy.
That's awesome. So I think some of the interesting things is something that we've been kind of talking about a little bit this year is like Gable is out there. He's not just trying to win, but he is looking to embarrass and
blood.
Destroy. He wants blood. He's teching dudes. He's working hard for techs when it really doesn't have big impact on the dual meet. And I think Coach Brand's
He wants
right.
a Hodge Trophy, Christian.
He does. He does. And also, he talks like he's going to be done with wrestling at any point now, like after this year, which I hope is not true and don't really think is true, but you never know. So, yeah, I think he does want to get the Hodge Trophy. And I think, you know, it was interesting that Coach Brands also, I think, rightly identified that he's like one of the most vilified college wrestlers. Him and DeSanto would have to be the top two by far. And, yeah, so I thought that was
people really not like Gable that much. I mean, I guess I don't dislike him at all. So maybe it's just I don't feel that. I don't feel like kids in my club dislike him because I generally get a feel from them on kids they like or dislike.
It's not kids that dislike Gable.
Yes.
It's the parents. It's the older generation that do not like Gable Steveson.
Yeah.
Well,
They don't like the. I remember his first match when he did the feet thing
with Derek White.
White, they didn't like that. They don't like the showboat, and they don't like the. He can be a little physical, maybe a little extra. They don't like that.
He's a face musher. He's a shover.
He's always tried to embarrass people.
Yeah, it's nothing new.
I don't have a problem with it. I like it. I enjoy it, but a lot of people do not.
Yeah. Do you guys really think he could beat Cassioppi? Because I just watched Cassioppi have a very.
You do mean?
I'm sorry. Opposite. Yeah. Correct. I watched Cassioppi have a really, really competitive match with Christian Lance. I don't think it's gonna be competitive. I don't know what you guys think. Tom Brand's a little biased.
Well, he obviously is. Yeah, absolutely not. I don't think there's a scenario where he could beat Gable. I mean, he just doesn't match up well. He doesn't attack.
They wrestled like 3 times, and he hasn't scored a takedown or even come. I don't even think he's touched a leg.
And Cassioppi doesn't. I mean, maybe he's got it in him, but he does not attack enough, right? You've got to. No. How many takedowns do you need to beat Gable unless you're Anthony Cassar, right? He's done.
Well, I would say the opposite. I would say if you're going to beat Gable, it is going to be a low-scoring match. And because if you attack, he regardless of weight, he has some of the best down block go behinds, the best rear attacks of anyone in college wrestling right now. And so, you know, I think Cassar actually probably wrote the book, but if I had to have a game plan for how I'm going to beat Gable Steveson, I'm going to look at what Anthony Cassar did. And it's going to be tough because I know Gable's distinctly different than he was then.
He is distinctly different. I think you got to get him tired somehow. also. I mean, he got tired in the Kassar semifinal match. It's going to have to be something like that. But you got to get him tired, but you can't attack a lot. To your point, Ben, maybe you're right. I say he's got to attack a lot. Maybe that's foolish. But I feel like when Cassioppi goes, his attacks are really strong and like pretty safe. Yeah. So, but we're talking about Gable, so it's kind of a different story.
They've wrestled a lot, going back to high school. So I think he just knows he has to be very careful against Gable because we've seen him in freestyle get teched in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And obviously that can't happen in folk style, but he can get taken down very quickly. And it feels like every time Gable goes against him, he scores.
Yeah.
Like anytime he really wants to go, he scores.
I feel like that's Gable's thing is like when he attacks, he's just so high percentage there. I think it's a big opportunity for Gable to really stand up. So it's one thing to tech Christian Lance and to beat on the guys, but if he comes out and puts up major points against Cassioppi, which he didn't do last year. Last year, the duel was actually was within a takedown late because I think Gable got like a penalty point or something.
It was atrocious.
It was a bad penalty point.
It was 7-5. It was so bad.
They have like I said, they have a history. They get chippy with each other. They have for a long time, and they both kind of clubbed hard. They called Gable for it, and then the last 30 seconds of the match, Cassioppi headbutted Gable a bunch. And they didn't do a thing.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then Gable blast doubled him. And
he did do that. So yeah, I think he got 5 points. Penalty.
It was a penalty and 4 escapes.
Okay.
Yeah, penalty and 4 escapes.
He's literally only scored. It was 9-4 at Big Tens. Remember, Gable had the clip. He wanted to go neutral. He said, "I'm gonna take him down." He took him down.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. So that's going to be a good duel because we'll have Brayton Lee versus Caleb Young. The emerging Andrew Bubba Sparks for Minnesota. He's been looking really good for them. He beat Jake Tucker. Obviously, Alex Marinelli's is a different kind of test. I'm sure that Ben thinks Sparks is probably going to keep it really, really close within a point. And we can bet, and he can owe us more push-ups.
He won't gas. Sparks will not gas.
Sparks did beat Rob. So there's a chance.
Yeah, there's a chance. So maybe he will. So I guess you got to be really feeling good. It's like maybe Sparks by 2 here. You just like Peyton Robb because you probably watched him wrestle all through high school, right?
Guys, listen. I looked up his wrestle stat last year. He lost every match by 1 point.
That's really impressive. It was
not insane. It was not insane for me to think that. He gets even including Hayden Hidley. And who knows? He gets that first takedown. The ref doesn't cheat him. Maybe he rides him out for the whole period. You never know.
Ben, how is Operation Compete Again going? How's your fitness? How's that looking?
Me?
Yeah.
Good. I mean, I took the weekend off. I was in Gatlinburg. I did one day. I felt so lazy. I'm like, I got to run. And I went out running for the first time since my surgery. Dude, these mountains are like this. It was terrible.
Yeah, you picked a bad time. You picked a bad time for your return to cardio.
I couldn't find anything flat. I couldn't find anything flat. It was awful.
Yeah, the Smoky Mountains tend to be mountainous, in my experience. Well, that's good. At least you're able to get that going.
Mm-hmm.
So Penn State paused their activities, but so they weren't able to duel Rutgers. But sounds like Michigan State is going to be on. They're going to wrestle Michigan State this week. That looks good to go. Rumors have begun to swirl about Kirkfleet being injured, being out for the year. It sounds like out for the year is not necessarily the reality, that he could be back by Big Tens, but it seems clear there was an injury there.
Where did this rumor start? Because I have not heard this rumor.
It's just on the internet, online.
On the internet.
Worldwide.
Okay. Hey, was I discussing with you guys, I have crazy plans that I said the Corona party thing. Did I discuss with you guys my other plan?
You got me yelled at for that, by the way.
I know. I'm not going to bring it up yet. I'm not going to bring it up. I said it. It's done.
You brought it up.
It's too late for Corona parties. You can't have them now.
Why not?
Hey, you're correct. Well,
because if you get Corona now in the Big Ten, you're out like 17 days, and then you got to do the heart testing, and who knows if you're back in time before Big Tens.
Yeah,
that's out. We don't want to do that anymore. Okay, so here's my new plan though. I almost feel like I was discussing. I said this to somebody. I hope it wasn't you guys, so I'm not repeating myself. But with the Penn State situation, it's three people get tested positive, you're out. Correct? Your team's done for like a week or two. Isn't that the rule?
Something like that.
I don't know exactly how they're doing it.
Yes, there's something like that, a certain number.
I believe that's how they're doing it. I would, like February 15, I'm going to cut like 80% of my team that's not starters and be like, you guys are cut from the team. They don't have to get tested or nothing. And they can go to like, you can open, go to the RTC workouts. And then for only like 12 to 14 guys have to get tested. What do you guys think about that plan?
I mean, anything to keep the bubble smaller limits risk. I wouldn't be surprised if there's variations of that happening, right? Where it's like one. Well, I would think it's like one wrestler goes with. I mean, to me, it's like break up your practices, cut those in half, limit partners to like 1 to 2 different partners.
You probably shouldn't have starters wrestling each other.
Starters shouldn't wrestle each other.
Because if one of them gets it, then they contact trace the other guy out, you know?
Yeah. But no, I think those are the kind of decisions they've got to be looking at, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, you can join the team again on like March 24.
Yeah. If we win NCAAs, you still get the rings and all that. Thank you for your service. Your service now is to not get us sick. So
yeah, to not get us suspended.
That's the main thing. Yeah, I could see that. That's not a bad idea. Will I get yelled at for that? It could happen, but I'm here for it. We all knew the risks when we brought on the funky one. It's fine. I'm here for it.
I will stand by my idea of being good. Both my ideas.
I'm not against it. So let's think. Penn State, Michigan State, some of the more interesting matches. Will we see the debut of Robbie Howard versus Rayvon Foley? An interesting matchup because, you know, Robbie can get the legs. He's a good leg attacker. Now, I have no idea where he is, right? I have no idea if Robbie is like ready to really push for a high podium. I would be stunned if he's not NCAA qualifier level. I would be stunned if he's not a guy that can win matches at NCAAs. But is he a guy? We'll learn a lot against Rayvon Foley, right? Tucker versus Joe Lee is interesting. Cam Caffey versus Michael Beard, a big test for Michael Beard because Michael, great leg attacks, can get in on everyone. Cam Caffey, one of the freakiest scramblers this side of Ben Askren, we can say. Yeah, and I'm excited for that matchup as well. Those are probably that's the extent of it.
Yeah. Hey, we
Chase Saldate wrestled for Michigan State. And had a really close match with Brayton Lee.
That's right.
He looks as advertised, so that could be interesting if Berge. Yeah. So watch out for Chase Saldate. He was really highly ranked guy. He's a true freshman out of California.
Yeah, he's number 2 guy. How many matches do you guys think Minnesota can win against Iowa? Is it 1 Gable? Is it you can give Brayton
2.
a win? Who do you think, Brayton and Gable?
I think Brayton's a favorite over Caleb Young, and I mean Gable is almost a lock. So it's like between Brayton Lee, although I don't know where else they're gonna have an opportunity to win.
They're kind of down this year a little bit.
No, not gonna be Boo Dryden. Not gonna be. Who's the 41 for Minnesota?
I don't know.
Polanco.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think so. Probably Pat McKee's gonna beat Spencer.
Do you remember Tom Brands after the Minnesota duel last year when he was talking about how bad DeSanto beat Boo Dryden?
He's like, he's gonna remember that the rest of his life or something like that. What did he say? That kid's scarred.
Yeah.
We need to find
the
the
doors off of him. Yeah, I'll find it.
Find that quote because it was a great quote and accurate. Boo Dryden does not match up great against. Although he
has looked better this year.
He's better, but DeSanto is just not going to be a good matchup for him.
Yes, ever.
So that will be an interesting duel. That is Friday. The Penn State duel is on Sunday, so we won't. You won't be split in your interests, so that's good. What the heck else? Oh, so bad news. Not bad news. Bad vibes from the London 2012 Chiefs. He's like being a Debbie Downer about the Tokyo Olympics going ahead. He said, if I was sitting in the shoes of the organizing committee in Tokyo, I'd be making plans for a cancellation. And I'm sure they have plans for cancellation. They've got another month or so before they need to make a call. So that's obviously.
Why are they going to make a call in February, Christian?
I have no idea.
I mean,
I think he just made that up.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense because last year Corona didn't even start till March in America, and I want to say they didn't make the call to push it back until May or June, maybe. I mean,
Yeah,
it
there's
was
no deadline to cancel something. You just cancel it when you have to cancel it. There's no like.
I mean, it's what we talked about, like with the Big Ten and football. It's like, why are you making this decision now? You don't need to.
Yeah.
Just wait.
This guy's a dork. He probably is mad he's not involved in the Olympics, and he's just some bureaucrat, IOC nerd, and wants to be a Debbie Downer. So
yeah.
I feel good that it's going to happen. I mean, I think of the things on the wrestling calendar that are yet to come, it is the diciest of them all. Like, I feel great about NCAAs and trials for the Olympics in America. But yeah, I mean, you've got tens of thousands of athletes and hundreds of thousands of people from every nation almost coming to a place. That does feel risky during a global pandemic. I'm not going to deny that.
Well,
but
if you just cut it down to athletes and coaches, I got to assume the number is going to be a small fraction of, if you include everybody who would go to a traditional Olympics. You could always do that, right?
Yeah, I would imagine that would drastically take it down. Like if you said no media, which would make me sad because I'm supposed to go. You said like no media other than like, NBC has to be there to like stream the events. But beyond that, I think that would be that's got to be something they're looking at, right? No.
Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't. And it seems like it would be relatively easy to have some type of process by which athletes, right? They maybe they all meet outside in like in America, we all met in San Jose before we fly over from San Francisco. But you meet, and there is a protocol where you go, in a specific way. You get in a bus, you go right into the village. You never even go into other parts of Japan, and then you spend all your time because there's everything you need in the village. There's food, there's restaurants, there's you get your hair cut, you go to the bathroom. Right? You know what? It's all
bathrooms.
good.
They got bathrooms?
What?
What are the bathrooms?
Get the heck out of here. Now I've heard everything, Ben. What's next? Potable drinking water?
What? They got food for you guys too?
Man,
I'm calling myself a convict.
That was bad. Or funny.
Almost as bad.
Listen, I feel like you guys you're my close friends. We've been through a lot together, and I just wanted to reveal that part of myself. If you haven't heard, I slipped up. I don't know what happened. Maybe that was an MK Ultra glitch of my own where I said I was a reformed convict, but I did say that yesterday. So go back. You can go back and listen to that. It'll be it's up. It's available worldwide on the internet. So yeah, I'm not a convicted felon, despite the rumors that I started about myself. Okay, so I feel good about the Olympics. But here's the thing: if this is a possibility, could this happen, Ben? Where the UWW says, okay, the Olympics got canceled. We're gonna do a freaking our own Olympic thing. Because we have the qualifications, right? We can host the qualifiers. We're gonna have this limited field, and do it in wherever. We're somewhere in Europe where we can have it, or America, and have like sort of an Olympic simulation type of thing. What do you think?
Why couldn't they, Christian? They just did a tournament that big in France.
Yeah, exactly. I think. Listen. Obviously, everyone gets excited about the rings and the added attention that the Olympians get, but I think there would be something cool about a narrowed down field. That is one of the things that does make the Olympics unique, whereas like anyone from any country can go. It'd be different. It'd be a differentiator, and I don't know. I think it would be maybe the UWW would say, "Hey, we're having our World Championships in 2021. We would just do that," but I think it would be a cool little like plot twist type of thing. That was just something I thought about when I read that this morning. I was like, well, we could kind of do something like that with outside of the IOC's involvement.
Yeah, that's when I read this article yesterday, it did seem like the guy didn't have it was just his guess, right? He didn't have a whole bunch of facts or anything behind it. And to me, it's like we're in a drastically different place than we were last year because I don't want to say everything's running, but there's a lot of things that are running right now. NBA's running in their own towns, NFL. I think I even saw the Packers get to have a whole bunch of fans for the NFC Championship game this weekend. UFC has fans in the Fight Island for the first time, so it's like,
oh really?
They're doing stuff. Oh yeah, they have I think up to 2,000 fans on Fight Island.
That's great, man. I really want these events to start. I mean, I love that we're able to have wrestling events and that we get to commentate them. But man, it is just such a missing element of not having some fans. Even if there were like 100 fans in this room, it would make such a difference. It would make a difference for the broadcast. It would make a difference for the wrestlers, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Mizzou Wrestling had fans. I don't know how many there were, but they definitely had fans in the crowd against it was 2 weeks ago that I watched.
Central Michigan.
I mean, attendance is a real problem right now, according to some wrestling people.
It is?
Yeah.
Are people going off about fans?
Well, Wade Chalice.
Oh, no. I haven't got to read this yet.
It's pretty bad.
What did he say?
He's complaining about attendance, saying that, like, because there's no fans there. Like,
oh, no.
He's saying that these coaches need to realize that this is why programs get cut, is because attendance is low.
Wait, stop, Kyle.
Yes, he did.
This to me, Bracky, I'm glad you brought this up. I'm glad you brought this up because it is the final. We've always been wondering, is Chalice trolling? Is he just a straight genius trolling us? I now know that he is.
Gotta be a troll.
This is all.
It's gotta be.
He's just messing with us. One time he lambasted USA Wrestling because we were only bringing home a certain percentage of the medals. But like, what he would say is like, so because Jordan Burroughs wins 74 kilograms, he said, we only won 25% of the medals when you can only win one medal. So he like had this crazy math equation about how USA was doing. We only brought home 5% of the medals. Well, you can only win one per weight. So that was like the first time we were like, he's just messing with us, right? But he seemed serious. But this one, the attendance one during a global pandemic when
this really happened? Are you guys being serious?
This happened.
It happened.
Read
Bracky, put it in the doc.
Okay.
I don't even believe you.
Let me just read this paragraph. Intermat this past week did 21 stories on dual meets and triangulars and listed the results on their homepage, but only 2 of the articles mentioned the number of fans that were in attendance. Iowa State ranked 7th in the country with a little over 1,100 spectators to watch the Cyclones defeat in-state Division III powerhouse Wartburg, and North Carolina State ranked 5th in the country with 60 fans for a home match with another in-state rival, Appalachian State. Wake up, coaches! With 2 top 10 teams averaging less than 600 fans between them, one must wonder what the numbers were for the other 19 meets that didn't mention they had any fans at all.
This is not real.
This is real. This is on the internet worldwide.
I understand. I understand we're in a pandemic, but I also know wrestling fans. If there's a match to be had, given everyone is itching to get out of their homes, and given that the institutions themselves have said that it's safe to wrestle, or they wouldn't be allowed to compete, then it must be safe to watch too. But these lack of spectators and all mention of numbers happened last week as well, in the year before that. This is exactly how programs get dropped.
Ben, this is
come on. Oh.
Where's
this published? Where's this published?
On WadeChaliceBlogspot.com. I don't know. Hold on.
New York Times.
Oh God,
Ben, this is the guy you couldn't catch. This is the guy.
He
defeated you.
He might have thrown. But there was rumor that him and Gene Mills were throwing some extra sauce on the records, and we don't know that their numbers are confirmed.
These articles are certainly give momentum to that notion, Ben, because it's just audacious. But yeah, Wade Chalice.
I haven't laughed that hard in a while.
It was real.
What?
He really
what
thinks
in the
that.
hell? That was real.
Yeah, it was super
Wow.
real.
I linked you the whole article, Ben.
Yeah, you should don't read it now.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Ben, don't you read it. We got
Well,
hey,
I
because
won't read it.
we have a guest
know it's
on.
real.
He's been waiting patiently.
Oh.
And we're ready to bring you on. Sorry, Johnny Ruggiano, Titan Mercury Wrestling Club, is here to talk about Captain's Cup. We got a little distracted by some breaking attendance news there. You do not have to weigh in on the Chalice math, but we're getting a good laugh about that. So, Johnny, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, Christian. Thanks, man. I don't weigh in on things like that, but I'm here to talk about business and talk about wrestling and really talk about women's wrestling and Captain's Cup today. So thanks for having me on. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you guys. You all look sprightly. Obviously, no one's on the West Coast.
Yeah. Obviously, it's always funny. Johnny lives in California, and he calls into these early radio shows where, by my math, it's 6:56 over there. So not that early. I mean, come on, you're a teacher, right? So you got to be up relatively early.
Yeah, no, it's but when you do two full-time things, I didn't stop working on Captain's Cup till about 1 a.m. So so I'm a little, and there's not a coffee store like 20 miles. I live out in the country in kind of a nice, quiet little location. My wife, family, and I, and so it's a bit early, but I'm always pumped and excited about talking about wrestling. So it's nice to be on a call with you guys.
Heck yeah, man. So, okay. Captain's Cup going down in February, but we've got the draft Saturday. Why don't you talk a little bit about that? What's going to be going on? What fans have to look forward to?
Yeah. So we're excited to bring a draft. Obviously I know Coach Steiner was on call with Mark on the Bader Show the other day. Great interview. Just talking everything about women's wrestling in general, and he kind of talked about the inception of this concept, and it was great. We were just in the midst of finishing up the RTC Cup. Things were in full flow at the time, and I think you guys were still on the mic announcing some matches, and Andy and I jumped on the call, and we were really excited about the outcome from the RTC Cup, and we said, all right, let's look at what else we can do to help, freestyle wrestling. We our main focus is trying to help support men's and women's freestyle wrestling and getting them critical matches, right? And so we jumped on a call with Terry, and like they say, great minds think alike. And I'm obviously talking about Andy and Terry, right? So they, I think we all were thinking about the same idea. Let's find an event, let's make it happen. And Terry said, let's do a draft. And, I jumped. I mean, it was kind of like jumping out of your seat because I love doing drafts. We've done drafts before. We really enjoy it. I think one of the best things about the draft is you get to know a lot of the personalities. We've got some really incredible stars in women's wrestling right now that if you haven't been exposed to it, you're going to get an opportunity to get to know their personality, get to know their mindsets, their thought process in this draft. And so we got really, really excited about kind of formulating this concept and working on it and coming up with a good plan for it. So come Saturday, what we have is we've got 6 captains who are going to go in and draft out 6 teams of the Olympic weights. All right. So our captains will be competing. So we have really 30 athletes who are going to be in the draft getting drafted, and it's going to be a snake draft. And just so everyone knows, our captains are going to be Tamara Mensah-Stock, Jakara Winchester, Sarah Hildebrandt, Kayla Miracle, Victoria Francis, and Jenna Burkert. And the way the selection process worked in conjunction with USA Wrestling on this was we were going with the wrestlers who had qualified the Olympic weight. The women's wrestling team is so strong right now. We've qualified every single weight for the Olympic Games. It's a great advantage, on a world stage right now. It's knowing that we're stepping into Tokyo, locked and ready to go. So what we did is we took the 6 captains and we put preference on the first thing being that you've qualified the Olympic weight and then the second thing being the accolades that you have as an international wrestler. So Tamara's a 2-time world medalist, current world champion, arguably pound for pound the best women's wrestler in the world. I'll argue it. I love it. And we've just got so many other great women wrestlers too. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for discussion and debate on that. Then we follow up in the priority of the draft. We're going to follow up with Jakara, also world champion. Then world silver medalist Sarah Hildebrandt will get the 3rd pick. Kayla Miracle, world team member, will get the 4th. Followed up by Victoria Francis, who's also a world team member, former world team member multiple time, 5th in the world. She'll get the 5th pick. And then also world team member Jenna Burkert will get the 6th pick. We're doing a snake draft, which means that all the women, if you get the 1st pick, it goes down to the 6th individual who gets to pick. They get the second. They'll get the 1st pick in the 2nd round, and we'll snake up and down until we have all 30 of our wrestlers chosen. One of the other things that we're doing in regards to the draft is that if there's a wrestler who's a national team member at that given Olympic weight, those wrestlers will actually have an automatic position in the draft. They have to get drafted. Obviously, if you're a national team member, you're kind of already top of the food chain, so you're most likely going to get drafted anyways. But we guaranteed a slot in there for the women. It's kind of a neat situation too. What we're doing with this is that, and this is just the genius of Coach Steiner. And it's been so much fun to work this event and kind of come up with the concepts and ideas with our Team USA coaches. This is going to be aligned with camp. So the women will be in camp. We'll also have a lot of coaches, some other, very important individuals in women's wrestling will be there at the actual event because it's aligned with camp. So we'll have everybody there. So, in essence, the national team members are kind of need to be there. So the women who are going to be guaranteed spots in the draft, who will be guaranteed drafted, would be Whitney Condor, Amy Fernside, Catherine Shy, Mallory Velty, is a world bronze medalist, Alex Glaude, who's an age division world bronze medalist, Precious Bell and Hannah Gladden. And all of these women have, really wonderful accolades. But I got to tell you, one of the things I think is really cool about this draft, before I just jump into some Q&A from you guys and, answering questions and talk about whatever you guys want to talk. You got me for a few minutes here. But one of the things I think is really excited about this is that we have the current stars, but we actually have a lot of future stars of women's wrestling in here, all the way from, big wrestling favorite seems today, Kennedy Blades. You've got women like Macy Kilty, Emma Bruntel, some studs like, Jen Page, Lauren Louise. It's kind of a who's who in this draft. And, we set up this opportunity of allowing this really being focused on women's wrestling. And, some of the women aren't, might have a different type of a periodization schedule. They're planning on different ways, so it didn't necessarily work for their time in preparation for the Olympic trials. But when you look at this list, and I think fans who are going to want to start doing their homework now, just like the captains are doing their homework of figuring out who they're going to draft, you're going to find some really great wrestlers in this event, and it's going to be just a ton of fun. And we're going to learn a lot about women's wrestling. Which, in my humble opinion, I think is a product that sells itself. We see some great women's wrestling matches in these cards as of recently on these Flow cards that have been amazing. From T.R.I. Key's toss of Amy Fernside, both two great Titan women, to that the legendary match between Adeline and Tamara. Two of the world's best, and Adeline, the women's best U.S. wrestler of all time. So it's going to be a really wonderful. It's going to be a wonderful time for this event. We're excited.
Which weight class looks the most loaded? I have an opinion, but I'm curious what you think one looks the most like competitive.
Yeah, I think 62s. I think 62s, and it's kind of like 62s is the 65s of men's wrestling, right? You have some rest there. I'd say 57 is pretty close too, but it's tough. I mean, there isn't like a set weight class, but 62 is a lot of draft entries, and you have a lot of wrestlers in there, that can take out the other wrestler. In a dual meet competition, which, anyone who watched RTC Cup, we're following those same rules, right?
Yeah.
And those rules are exciting, and they keep you on your seat and the whole time. I think 62 looks really, really competitive, from the young up and coming wrestlers to the veteran wrestlers too. You got wrestlers like Julia Salata, and Julia Salata is a Renaissance woman. Let me just tell you that. Not only can she wrestle, she can announce, she can commentate. She's associated with Wrestle Like a Girl. She just does a lot. She's an amazing personality. So 62 for me, I think is going to be a lot of fun to watch, and I'm really excited to see how the captains draft that weight class out.
Yeah, I think I completely agree. I thought 62 looked like the toughest weight of all of them. So looking forward, we've got the draft is coming this weekend, and then February 13th and 14th for the Captain's Cup going down. Looking forward to that. Of course, both you can watch the draft and all action live on FloWrestling. Excited for this one. Johnny, before we let you go, any parting thoughts about the Captain's Cup?
No, I just, it echoes what we said before. Wrestling's back. USA's looking strong. We got to get stronger. Yeah. We're excited about helping out and doing anything we can to kind of, move the needle. Love working with you guys, and we love working with USA Wrestling, and just happy to be a part of it. So fans, get ready for some great excitement and great matches come, February 13th, 14th.
Yeah, definitely. Johnny, we appreciate you coming on. Thanks for all your work with this. With RTC Cup was so fun. Awesome event, and we know this one's going to deliver as well. You guys do an awesome job, as you know. So thanks again. I'm sure we'll be in touch a lot over the next couple weeks as we get closer to Captain's Cup. So thanks, and we'll probably talk to you again soon, Johnny.
Sounds good, guys. Take care.
All right, thanks. See you, Johnny. All right, Johnny Ruggiano, Titan Mercury Wrestling Club. Once again, the draft coming this weekend, and Friday, Saturday, February 13th and 14th for the Captain's Cup. So
heck yeah.
Your Valentine's Day is set. Just tell your wife, honey, we're watching the Captain's Cup, and she's gonna be all for it, I'm certain. Okay. Moving on, where do we want to go next? It's gonna be a fun weekend of college wrestling. We've got some good Big Ten duels. We already talked about Iowa, Minnesota. We'll see Penn State's debut. UVA versus Virginia Tech looks like a pretty salty duel. And speaking of duels, Stephen Kyle Brackey has dropped the duel rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you
put the link in the doc? Jeez, how rude.
Okay, well, he's going to throw it in. I'll throw it in there. Brackey, you tee it up. You tee it up.
Yeah, so these are the first I did for the first time we did preseason duel rankings where we just took like stabs at the starting lineups we thought we were going to see. And so I wanted to try to wait until everyone had wrestled at least one duel, some cancellations and some teams pushing things back. Didn't make that a possibility, but I thought it was a good time to go ahead and put duel rankings out. And it's tough because, my big thing last year was results. I don't care who's in the lineup. If the duel happened, it happened. We're going to count the result, not playing the what-if game. Well, with you got Penn State who hasn't wrestled a duel yet, and then you have Missouri who's wrestled 7. It's tough.
They messing around.
Yeah.
They're not. It's awesome.
You would have loved it. It was best you weren't on the show yesterday because we were just all over Tiger Style.
It was a love fest.
It was a love
Tiger
fest.
Style, baby. Let's go.
But they've been
on fire.
They've been the story of the season so far, truly. I mean, they've been the most impressive, biggest surprise. I mean, we knew they were going to be good. We knew they were going to be tough. But, like, Alan Hart's a revelation.
Yeah, they worked UNI and Iowa State. They killed them both. I mean, it wasn't even slightly competitive.
No. Yeah. And those are good teams. Like Iowa State has a really solid lineup, and the fight you're going to get with the Panthers. So yeah, Missouri is absolutely on fire.
Yeah, so they take a nice little jump. I believe they started 11th. They're up to 6, and I mean they have plenty of opportunity to go up even higher too. Illinois is another big jumper. They started 21. They're all the way up to 7 after the win over Ohio State, and that's where it kind of gets tough because it's like, okay, you're balancing these big wins and trying to compare it to teams that might not have really good wins but have just loaded lineups.
Mm-hmm.
8, 9 guys ranked or 7 NCAA qualifiers. But I thought it was important to reward Illinois for not only the win over Ohio State, they beat Wisconsin, Indiana. They get a chance at a ranked win this weekend in Purdue. I don't know, what's anything that stood out to you guys?
Well, I just want to. I kind of like what you said, Bracky, and I liked how you did it last year, where it's like, if the duel happened, the duel happened. We're not going to whine and complain about who missed or whatever, because in a dual ranking, that speaks to depth of team. And if you're going to actually have some type of dual championship, you need depth of team, because there's no guarantee that everyone's going to be in the lineup. And especially in a year like this year, there's definitely no guarantee everyone's going to be in the lineup. So the depth of your roster for a dual meet championship matters a lot. And Mizzou, for example, at 41, they have Hart and they have Edmond. There's a bunch of places where they have another guy who could go in there and fill in relatively well. And if teams don't have that this year, they're gonna be taking quite a few L's.
Yeah, and I'm not going to change that. I mean, I know guys are going to be missing duels with COVID and contact tracing and all that, but it is what it is.
It be what it be.
Yeah, it be what it be. I just mean the teams that have only wrestled 1 duel or 3. Like, I'm comparing their lineup to other teams' lineups, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, anything that stood out to you guys or surprising or questions?
Well, Ohio State got crushed by losing to Illinois. They're back down at 15.
Yeah, when you look at the teams ahead of them, they have either better or comparable lineups and then better dual wins.
Yeah.
Pitt already has wins over Navy and Lehigh. I think they have 1 or 2 less ranked wrestlers, but I went ahead and favored those wins, where Ohio State had a chance to get a win over a ranked team and didn't do it in Illinois.
Yeah.
Purdue has 7 ranked wrestlers. They started with a solid win over Northwestern. I knew Northwestern was missing a bunch of guys, but so was Purdue.
Yeah,
they had guys step up. They had true freshmen beating Jack Jessen.
Hey, that kid is good.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Who was
Parkinson?
Parkinson, yeah.
I never heard of him before, but
It's McCartney Parkinson?
It's a
I've
name.
Never heard of him.
Dude,
I thought I heard everyone from this area.
Yeah. He
McCartney Parkinson.
Classic McCartney Parkinson. He looks like a true freshman too. He's almost like Keegan-esque in terms of his stature and build. He looks like a high schooler. But he's good.
He went to Mater Dei, which is
I believe
the Lee's high school.
I believe it's Mater Dei, according to the commentator.
The announcer kept saying Mater Dei.
So
yeah, he's 6'3".
Ohio State
6'3".
Damn.
He's their small forward.
Ohio State's not very good this year.
Well, there you have it.
They're actually a little better in duels than they are in tournament. But you think, when you look at their tournament lineup, who's going to place really high? Sammy Sasso, I think, is very likely to place high. Besides him, there's no one else that I'm like, okay, this guy's a lock for top 3. There's not one other person.
No, definitely not. I would have Karchla is a guy that I think would have been a top 3 or 4 guy potentially. But he was in a really tough weight class as it stood. But regardless, I think he could have. But yeah, I mean, Heinzelman, no. Decatur, no. 41, apparently not. Sasso, yes. 57, no way. 65, Ethan Smith's a guy. I think he's flirted with the top 5 on occasion, but I'm not sure. And then he lost to, who beat him? Bronigal.
Yep.
Bronigal.
Bronigals have been assembling quite
They're good.
They beat a lot of really good wrestlers since Corona on.
They're really hard. They're really hard workers too. I mean, it was. I don't know if it had anything to do with Corona, but I always felt like over the course of time they were definitely going to get better, right? Because they're grinders and guys who can keep that level of enthusiasm up through a college career. They're just going to get better and better and better.
Yeah. So Ethan Smith, probably not. Caleb Romero, we like him. I think he looked good, right?
Yeah.
Won his match.
Mhm.
Then Rocky Jordan, he's up and down. He got Rabluski'd. And then 97, Chase Singletary needs to get in the lineup. Maybe he's a guy that could place. But, right now he's the backup to Hoffman potentially. And then, of course, Orndorff or GTG at heavyweight. Yeah, you're right. They should be better in duels than in tournament.
Yes.
Which is what makes the Illinois loss all the more alarming.
Yeah, and when you Minnesota has the win over Michigan State, Ohio State has the win over Wisconsin, but when I looked at those teams in a dual setting, I favored Ohio State. But they will, being in the Big Ten week in and week out, they're going to have every opportunity to move up. Northern Colorado, we talked about it kind of before the season. They have 7 former NCAA qualifiers in the lineup. They get another big opportunity this weekend against Oklahoma State. Virginia quietly has 7 guys ranked in the top 25.
Wahoo wah.
That's a really, really salty lineup. And then Stanford with half of their lineup in the top 25, and then guys like Real Woods and Shane Griffith who can probably compete to be in the NCAA finals.
Absolutely, they can. I mean, they're getting their schedules soon. Hopefully,
it's out.
Oh, it's out.
I came out yesterday. Yeah,
sweet, good.
Hey, can you guys just put Peyton Mako, Keegan O'Toole in the lineup or in the rankings so you guys don't look ridiculous?
Well, he will be if he wins his 2 matches this weekend.
Slot him in there at like 24 or something, just so you don't look ridiculous.
Listen, I have thoughts because, one, we are the owners, operators, and conductors of the Keegan O'Toole hype train, and we will be for 5 years. Absolutely. We've been talking about this guy since who's number 1. You don't count because you coach him. This is a pro Keegan O'Toole podcast. We thought he should have been the guy at 57 right along. Mm-hmm. But whatever. We will accept the decisions of Coach Smith. He certainly knows what he's doing. Now, he needs to beat guys that are ranked. That is how you get ranked. You don't get ranked because you won who's number 1 or because you watch you and you're destroying everyone. You just have to beat ranked guys. And as he does that, he'll move up in the rankings. Now, that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about daggone, you lambasted us for our Andrew Alirez ranking some time ago. Well, now.
I said you should move him up.
Yeah. Okay. So.
What happened with Andrew Alirez?
Nothing's happened yet. He's got his opportunity against Boo Llewellyn this weekend. So if he beats him, then maybe it'll be a little bit of validation. But I'll tell you one thing, Ben Funky Askren, Boo Llewellyn beat him up pretty good last year. So we will see where he's at. If he's made the improvements you believe he's made. I believe he's always been excellent in freestyle, and this fall just confirmed that he's still excellent. So big test for Alirez.
It's Boo versus Boo.
Boo versus Boo.
Yeah. Boo. Damn. 149 is deep. I just looked at those rankings. You do have Alirez too low, of course, naturally. But 149's got a lot of good wrestlers in it. Jeez Louise.
Will you apologize if you lose?
That freestyle rankings don't? The freestyle results don't count towards the collegiate
He
rankings,
beat Joey McKenna. He beat Joey McKenna.
Okay.
He beat Joey McKenna.
I know, in freestyle.
He took him down multiple times.
It's different. It's different.
It happened.
Then he beat Nick Lee.
Okay. He beat Nick Lee.
How do you explain?
Well, no, that's my point.
Okay.
He beat.
No, that was the lace. That was the lace, though. That was the lace. That was a multiple thing.
He took him down.
And laced him. One exchange.
So he beats Nick Lee. I think he took a match from Dom Demas. He beats Joey McKenna, whoever else he beat at Senior Nationals, and he loses twice to Jarrett Degan in folk style.
He's a good folk styler.
That's the point.
That's the point.
That's the difference. It's folk style wrestling.
Nick Reenan made Final X 0-2 at NCAAs.
No, Nick Reenan. Yeah, that's a good argument.
It's just it's not the same.
Let's take a bet. I will bet you Andrew Alirez finished higher than 20th.
No, that's
kidding.
Not the deal.
Yeah, because we both. But that's the thing.
You don't get it.
I was talking to someone last night on Twitter about another ranking we can get to in a second if you want, and I said that I think Sam Latona, despite the fact that we have him ranked 12th, will be on the podium at 125 this year.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, well, if you believe that, why is he not ranked there? Because these are not predictions. These are not my guesses. It is just rankings based on results and what has happened. If you want predictions, we could probably put predictions together for you.
To me, sounds like excuses.
Ben, You sound silly.
It's how we've done it since Christian started doing the rankings on this site, and we're not going to change anything about it.
Yeah. Rankings are not
okay.
predictions. Predictions are predictions.
Got it.
Ben,
Okay.
you should be, listen, Common fans, Virginia Tech homers, Penn State homers, whatever, your Iowa homers, we get your rankings quibbles. Ben, you're supposed to be an intellectual. You're supposed to be above the fray. You're on here because of your mind. You've got to be better here.
So I'm not saying put him up to like 6. I'm saying for O'Leary's put him above 20. You throw Keegan O'Toole in there like 23 just so you don't look ridiculous. And then we're all good.
But we don't look ridiculous because you just throwing Keegan O'Toole in when he has no wins over guys that have gone out and beaten ranked dudes for 2-3 seasons and this season.
Everyone though.
That looks ridiculous.
Decking who?
I don't know. Bums, I guess.
Okay.
That's my point. People are wanting to yell at us about AJ Ferrari. 2 of the 4 guys he's wrestled have losing records in college. So we're supposed to reward him for that?
Where do you guys got him?
We don't have him ranked.
He's not ranked.
Oh, hell, guys. Oh, my goodness gracious.
You don't
put the man on the board somewhere. Put him on the board
He'll get his chance this weekend.
You put yourself on the board.
Yes.
We don't put you on the board. You got to earn it. Earn, not given.
Slide him in there at like 24. Make him earn his way up.
No.
Who's he got this weekend? Who's O'Leary's got?
And you know what, Ben? You know what else?
What?
It's more important now than ever that these rankings be tight and based in Division I results, not in the hopes. Because listen, the coach's ranking is a part of the seeding and the qualifications criteria formula. And all the coaches do is look at rankings and then, they do their own little work. But the rankings are a big starting point, and ours are obviously the biggest and most recognized. So we got to do it right. And AJ Ferrari and Keegan O'Toole and all these amazing wrestlers, Boo Aliras, all they have to do is beat the ranked guys in front of them. That's all Aliras had to do last year, and he didn't do it. So it's on him.
And I love that people just think that we have this bias or
you guys are biased
or against them, and it's no, we're literally just looking at the results. I don't know, just win.
Yeah.
Wait, shut it. There's an easy way to fix this, and it's just win.
Yeah. Win, 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 win. All right.
The other ranking, if you want to talk about it,
let's go.
Is at 125, which outside of Spencer Lee is a crapshoot.
It's a mess.
It's a total mess.
Oh, yeah. Get the broom. Get a mop.
We have Jacob Camacho ranked 2nd, and it's not really based on anything that he's done. I guess it kind of is. But at the end of last year, he beat Jack Mueller to win the ACC championship. And so when he did that, he moved ahead of Mueller because did you know the past 2 seasons, the only 2 wrestlers to beat Jack Mueller? Spencer Lee in the NCAA finals and Jacob Camacho. That's it. He was undefeated when he went into the NCAA finals against Spencer and then was undefeated until the ACC finals. So he went ahead of Mueller. And then a few seniors came out of the rankings, and he starts the year 5th. Okay? Well, then the Ivy League cancels. Well, there goes Pat Glory and Vito Arujau, who are ranked ahead of him.
Then he's 3rd.
Rayvon Foley loses to Mitch McKee, so he moves back. So Jacob Camacho moves to 2. I don't I think most services probably have Schroeder 2. Well, he lost to Mueller, who Camacho has a win over. So
yeah,
I guess
a mess.
25 is a mess, and I know a lot of people were just mad because Latona did beat Camacho at Scuffle last year. But other than that, he really doesn't have much on his resume, and I don't know. Everyone has him between 10 and 12, and all the guys ranked 9 to 2 have a lot of relevant wins, really deep resumes. And Latona just hasn't had a lot of those matches yet, and he's gonna get them.
Yeah,
they're coming. It's a weird season, and he's a freshman that wrestled 20 matches last year as a redshirt, which is good, but it's just not a lot of resume to look at there.
Yeah, I mean we said he's a potential NCAA finalist weeks ago.
Look at the field.
And honestly, Tech fans, he's got a 5-3 over Zurich Storm and a 3-2 over Killian Cardinale. He's not.
And he lost to Storm last year.
Yeah, he's not he's not, Keegan O'Tooling people. He's winning. He's winning matches against solid guys, but Zurich Storm, WrestleStats got him 54th, and they got Cardinale 48th. So these aren't the top 8-ish guys. So just, it'll happen. He'll get there. Let it never be said we're not that we have anything against the Hokies or Sam Latona.
No, gosh.
You guys hate the Hokies.
This is a Hokie podcast.
This is about as favorable Hokie podcast you can get.
You're not gonna get more of a Hokie bias than from Bracky, who's boys with Jared Hott and me, just Virginia's native son. Anyway,
I don't know. We do this every year, and I feel like there's one show every year where we just kind of
explain rankings to people.
Which that gets me too. Is I had 2 or 3 people hit me up about Luffman yesterday, and can you explain to me why he didn't move above Hilger, even though we beat him? It's well, I did explain it right above the rankings.
They don't even read; they just look at it.
No, they just look at the rankings.
Explanation for this.
It's frustrating because we're the only ones that put explanations with our rankings. Everyone else, you just look at the rankings and you have to guess why guys moved where.
You have to guess why Eric Schultz is behind Jacob Warner, despite Warner losing to him, and then
Getting
Schultz outplays him in Big Tens.
Yeah,
you have to assume what Tracker and Intermat and them were doing. Yeah. Anyway, keep going.
It's
Luffman,
yeah, Luffman, man. He goes from unranked into the top 10, but when you look at Hilger, he only lost to the top 4 last year: Stencil, Cassioppi, Paris, and Gable. And had a win over Luffman last year. It's just the loss to Luffman isn't enough to bring him down behind some of these guys that he has much better resumes.
Yeah. So you can't completely overreact. You react to Luffman because he had a great win. He goes from unranked to a top 10-ish guy, but you don't completely crush Hilger for all the great wrestling he's done in his career. So, okay. Why don't we go to some questions before we depart?
Yeah.
I feel like this is a Ben Askren reference, so I'm just going to ask this question. When's the last time you climbed a mountain wearing your living room slippers? Are you ascending mountains in slippers, Ben?
I have my slippers on. I have my slippers on. Oh yeah, I did. We went on a hike Sunday morning with our team, and I had slippers on.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't a hard trail. It's not like we were hiking the mountain. There was that freaking trail.
But why not sneakers? Why not wear tennis shoes?
Because my slippers are more comfortable.
But certainly not over the course of a hike. They don't have the support.
I walked out. What do you mean? I don't need support. I'm a caveman.
What? You just had a hip replacement, caveman. They didn't have that surgery. You know what? You know what happens to a caveman?
Well, thank God I didn't live in the caveman days because I wouldn't get a hip replacement and my back would still hurt.
You would have been eaten by a dinosaur years ago when you're hobbling around.
I was a dinosaur.
No, you would have been devoured, certainly. If Keegan O'Toole makes the finals, will Coach Smith let Ben sit in his corner?
I don't think that's legal.
I don't think that's legal. But you know what they do? The NCAAs. You watch the ESPN broadcast, and they'll sit you'll see Jody Stripmatter and Larry Lee and his family there watching them win, and you'll see the parents. So maybe you'll get that primetime seat.
Yeah,
maybe that'd be great. Yeah,
that'd be great. I guess he has to make the finals first.
Actually, there won't be. I'll be there because I'm going to be working in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
At the NCAAs, but there's probably not going to be a crowd, is there? I think Brian Smith was saying maybe 20%. He was saying, and I know. Yeah, so maybe there will be. I'm not sure.
That's basically just going to be parents and the rich boosters. That's all it's going to be. If it's only 20%, 20% of 20,000, that is not a lot of people. It's going to be super limited. I guess we'll get to go. I haven't seen anything about media credentials at this point.
You getting nervous?
No, not at all. Okay, can we get Ben to do a completely unbiased Missouri versus Iowa whiteboard war? Well, he will be completely biased.
Yes, I will.
But maybe we could do that.
O'Toole over Marinelli.
Oh my gosh, that match would be fire. There's complete opposite. Marinelli would probably just beat him up at this point, but Keegan's
I
got.
don't know. Keegan's pretty tough to beat up.
He's tough. Is he can? Yeah, that's the question. Because
He's really, really difficult to take down because he has so many weapons.
Yeah.
He's very flexible. He will get stronger, but he is kind of strong despite what he looks like.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't look strong at all, and he's stronger than not looking strong at all.
Right.
I mean, he's not like the strongest guy, and he'll get stronger, but he is still pretty strong. He's tough to take down.
That's big. And, a coach hit me up, a D1 coach, about Keegan. He's like, this kid is so good. He's good from everywhere. And he posed this question. He's like, how do you game plan for this guy? How do you game plan for Keegan? Because, like,
the whole point is you try to be so good you can't game plan.
Well, right. That's the point. But there's many great wrestlers you can say, all right, well, basically, if you do these couple things, maybe this would happen, right? But with Keegan, like, he's so good in so many areas. It's like, well, what's the thing you take away? It's really tough to do. Okay.
Well, I mean, I know exactly what I would do if I was wrestling him right now, but then not me. Like, if I had a guy wrestling him, but I'm not going to talk about it because I
don't do that. Daggone it. What are the advantages of repechage, and would you rather American tournament style? The advantage of repechage is time. It takes less time to do a tournament.
That's the only advantage. That's the only advantage, which is not good.
There's two advantages, and one of them is a debatable advantage. The one advantage that's undeniable is time. The second one is, as a result of who gets pulled in, you will get more random medalists from random countries. That's
not a good advantage. That's a negative, not an advantage.
It looks good to not. It's not good, right? We don't think that's an advantage, but like, it looks good for wrestling on an international stage that we've got. It's not just Russia, America, Iran, Georgia are the podium for all four weights. It's like, ooh, Venezuela had a guy in the top 5, or this nation, Kazakhstan got a lot. That is something that
why did that happen? I don't know.
That is something that the international wrestling community, IOC, I think, like, they think that's cool. So if they think that's cool, that is an advantage that someone believes. But other than that, Julian Schmalinsky, I do not see a ton of advantages. And I would rather American tournament style, but I accept the decision.
I really do hope at some point in time, a man can dream, Christian, that they have some type of reasonable type tournament series / season with the UWW. They have tournaments, like a minimum number you have to attend to then be at the World Championships, maybe like 2 or 3. And then we actually at some point get seeded brackets, which actually have good seeding because we've seen all the same people in the same brackets 2 or 3 times over the course of the season. I know it's not likely to happen, but a man can dream.
Yeah. Another dream, maybe I don't like this. A thought. What if you could have multiple entries at Worlds or something?
Ooh, I would. What I'm in favor of, I've been pushing this train for, I don't know, 5 years, that if you have the said season that we talked about, you are mandated to enter a certain amount, right? Like Sedge Live would have to do at least 2 or something. Maybe it's Continentals and one other one.
Dude.
But you could enter more if you want to. And if you're not a representative of your country, they take like the top 5 other point totals, right? So you earn points at the series or the season events. And once your team is picked for your country, the top 5 non-country representatives earn a spot in the championships.
Yes, I like that idea. That is cool. Okay, from Siowa 14. This is not Sion's burner. I know it looks like Sion's burner, but it's not. And I can tell just by how this tweet is written, it is not. Iowa State is the wrestling equivalent to Nebraska football. The bluest of blue bloods that has struggled mightily for over a decade. Is this the year we turn the corner and push for our 46th trophy finish? A stat that proves how bad the past decade has been. I don't think this is the year. I think that podium is so crowded, right? I don't think Iowa State can get in there. I think they can get some All-Americans. I think David Carr is a guy that can win a title. Jarrett Dagan is a guy that's going to be in the mix to place high. Losing Gomez really hurts, right? You just can't. There's one of them, right? And you don't just have those a Austin Gomez waiting in the wings. I think they're going to be good at 33, but compared to Gomez, they're not going to be. So they're going to have a really good team this year. They're going to push a lot of teams in duels for sure, but I don't think this is a year for a trophy. But
I think he was too mean to himself there. Nebraska struggles to win like 4 or 5 games right now.
Yeah,
and Dresser has Iowa State as like a top 10.
They're super relevant.
Yeah, you're being too mean to yourself.
Yeah, but there were some rough years. Like Dresser's first year.
Nebraska's that bad at football though?
Yeah.
Well, since they fired
Really?
Pelini, I feel like they won 10 games almost every year with Pelini, and now they're terrible.
No, it was like 8 years. Or 8 games a year, sorry.
8 games.
Wow.
Okay.
It started when they fired Solich.
Yes.
For winning 9 games a year.
That's right. Well, no, I'm acting like I know. I have no idea I don't know who Solich is.
Frank Solich.
Yes, Frank. Frank, Ben. Oh, Frank Solich.
He's now the head coach at Ohio University.
Oh, okay.
He was Tom Osborne's like head man. He took over after Tom Osborne.
Oh.
And they won like 9-10 games a year, but they didn't win a national title like Osborne did. So they were like, you got to go. We win national titles here. And then they've just been very average.
They're like, no, we actually don't anymore. They're 4-8 this year.
No, they were 3-5 this year.
3-5.
I'm going back through the years right now.
4-8. Yeah, okay, so they stunk. So yes, Iowa State, you're not as bad. I think it's a fair comparison, but you're doing better than Nebraska football, according to Stephen Kyle Brackey.
The first year of Dresser wasn't great, and the last couple years of KJ weren't great, but I just mean like now and the trajectory you're on is much better than Nebraska football right now.
Yes. Yeah, you're going the right way. Connor, for real, says, let's have Ben return with a match against an older UFC hero. He took his JB match. Now it's time for one in his favor. Say GSP in freestyle or Hendricks in any style. What say you? I'd love to wrestle Hendricks.
I'd love to wrestle Hendricks again.
He's so big, although you're not small.
How much does he weigh?
He's got to be 220, 230.
You think so? I mean, I haven't seen him in years. I can't tell you the last time I saw a picture of Johnny Hendricks.
That guy loves bones.
He's probably working on building a chair out of pizza boxes right now.
This man built a chair
Have you ever heard that story, Ben?
No, what are you talking about?
His dream was in college to build a chair of pizza, of Little Caesars pizza boxes, and make a chair out of it.
There's a hilarious there's a hilarious YouTube video of him talking about Mark Branch catching him at McDonald's one day. And then he goes on to tell another story about how he found out Coach Smith was coming over to his house to do like a surprise visit, like see how he was living and everything. And he's like, and I'd been saving all these Little Caesars pizza boxes because I was going to build a chair out of them. He's like,
you built a chair?
I don't know. There's a way. And
pull it up, Tyler. There's a way. There's like pictures.
He had to destroy all the boxes because Coach Smith was coming over. Because he like admits I just lived on Little Caesars pizzas and like the cheesy bread.
Yeah, he talked about the $5. Yeah, I feel like I've seen. Yeah, here it is. I've got one. I've got a pizza box chair. I found a picture.
Put it up.
I'm putting it in Slack for you.
It's
Tyler.
cardboard. How would it work?
It works because it works. Hold on, Tyler. Put that picture. Pull it up.
Up on the screen.
Yeah, he's gonna put it on the screen. You're gonna end up building one. Just keep it indoors. I think it would. It would break down if it was outside.
Don't take it up to the fire.
Look at this dude. What a cool guy. This guy's so cool. Wait till you see this picture.
Are we getting it up on the screen? I haven't seen this
we're
yet.
getting it up on the screen.
It takes a second.
Oh, I heard hella Oklahoma State stories because I rode to Tennessee and back with Tristan Moran.
Oh yeah.
Me, Max, and him, and he told a lot of stories.
Okay, well, I look forward to hearing them off the call.
Oh my God, this guy's got a Domino's pizza box chair.
Yeah, look at this. All right, he's about to pull it. Check it out. Look at this guy.
Oh my God,
what a cool guy! You walk into that dorm room, and you're like, this dude is the man.
Johnny Hendricks was gonna build this.
He wanted to build something like that.
It would stink like old pizza.
That's probably a plus in his eyes.
Ben, I'm gonna link you this video. It's really funny.
It's funny. Johnny has a good attitude about it. But yeah, John Smith gave the McDonald's staff a picture of Johnny and said, "Do not serve this guy if he comes here." Like, yes,
It was
serious?
like, if you see this man, call me. And he said that he went up and placed an order, and he's sitting there waiting on it. And all of a sudden, Coach Branch appears behind him. He's like, "What are you doing, Johnny?" Yeah.
yes. Oh, this is a classic story. It's a classic.
Oh my god! That really happened.
It really happened. Okay,
That's
here's
almost as much of an Onion article as Wade Shales' story earlier.
yeah. Okay. Ben, this is from Nikki Freestyle. Who do you think is the best scrambler in the NCAA, and do you think they can out scramble you? Well, we know that part.
Are we talking ever or currently?
Current.
Probably Yanni.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, who's
He's
second?
very good. I know what you want me to say.
No, I do not. I'm not trying to get you to
Oh,
say
okay.
anyone.
I always hate these ones. I don't. A lot of times I don't look ahead at the questions. I have to go through the rings because I don't want to. I hate when I like say someone and I'm like, oh shoot, what about that person or whatever. So
Okay.
you know what? I will have my answer tomorrow morning. I will pick a couple that are currently wrestling this year. So Ivy Leagues would be excluded from the contest.
Yeah. So you can't say Ben Darmstadt, but we would.
He's wrestling a match. Did you see this? It's the Battle of the Assassins.
Him versus Chandler Rogers.
Yes, did you see that?
I saw that. That'll be a mess.
Yeah, and Tristan Moran loves Chandler Rogers, loves him so much. And I'm thinking, I can't tell you my idea. It's to take too long. But anyways, he thinks Chandler Rogers can pin me, and I'm like, dude, you're high. He's like, yeah, but he's 220 now. And so Chandler Rogers might have the size advantage on Ben Darmstadt because according to Tristan Moran, Chandler Rogers is 220.
That is true.
What?
Chandler is really big right now. I do not think he would pin you, Ben. Maybe in your.
He's 220. He's not going to pin me. That's impossible. I don't get pinned.
When's the last time you were pinned?
Oh, this is embarrassing.
Love it.
I
It was at the.
I tell Tristan this. 2003 World Team Trials. Effing Pat Popolizio headlocked me when I was 18.
Oh.
So
Pat
embarrassing.
Pop got ya.
Pat Pop got me the headlock. Yeah, it was
Lefty
not good.
or conventional?
He did a lefty headlock, I believe. Yes, he got me. It was embarrassing. I did not score a point in that tournament. I got headlocked by Pat Pop, and I got beat 6-0 by Randy Pugh of Northern Iowa. So the 2003. I mean, I was happy to qualify at that point in time because I was only 18, but it was not. It was rough for me.
Nice. All right. Well, that you're right. That is a great story. Sorry that happened, but it's all smiles now. Hey, so why don't we get the heck out of here?
I got a couple things before we go.
Go.
I got one more nugget from this Wade Chalice thing.
Okay, good.
Jesus.
He says we should demand that every press release that's sent to Intermat Win, Amateur Wrestling News, Track Wrestling, and the like include the number of fan in attendance, or the event won't receive coverage.
Wow.
Ultimatum time.
Look,
Cinda?
I love that he didn't include FloWrestling because he knows we don't post like press releases like ever.
Yeah.
Does he have any idea whatsoever that some schools won't allow fans in attendance? Does he even mention that?
He does not.
He alludes to the fact of like, I know there's a pandemic going on,
Yeah.
but guys, let's get it together. But yeah, it's time to lay down the ultimatum, I guess. It's like
He also, here's his idea. Every athletic director in America who has a wrestling program should sit down with their head coach and inform them that starting next season, their salary will be $25,000 plus 50% of all ticket sales up to a maximum of $500,000.
So a lot of upside if you can hustle these. He's like, listen, low salary, a lot of upside.
And then he says, that'll get things turned around in a hurry.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Oh my gosh, it's all time. But now it's finally for sure because there was this for years we were like, is he serious? Is it? Now we know he is a next level comedic genius. This is all fun. He got us.
He got us.
He got us for years, but now we know this one was too far. You stretched it too far, Wade.
And then the other thing that I had was, I don't know if you guys saw this, but the legal team for Tiger King really thought Joe Exotic was going to get pardoned last night.
I hope they weren't banking on that.
And they were. They had a big old stretch limo ready to pick him up from jail.
No.
Yeah, check this bad boy out.
That was
Oh,
real?
no.
Oh, this was a joke.
HeavenOnWheels.com?
No, this is real. It was hanging out outside the attorney's office.
Stop.
They were ready.
That is hilarious.
And it did not come.
He did not get pardoned.
He did not.
Looks like you still have to go to jail for attempting to murder someone here in America these days.
Allegedly, Christian. Allegedly.
He only murdered an effigy of Carol Baskin every day for like 12 years. That's certainly that is not beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay.
For real.
It's 9:45. I know that beyond a reasonable doubt. So we're gonna get the heck out of here. We're gonna go eat tacos. Ben is not. I'm sorry, Ben. You're not here. Start AWA Austin, and we'd be in a lot better shape. So hey, thanks so much for listening. Thanks to Ben. Thanks to Steve. Thanks especially to you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow on Thursday. Lots to talk about. Thanks so much. See ya.